Wow. Beautiful oceans all around, and this road to infinity.
Yeah, could be the road to success or failure.
Let's take you out of the sun. So you were saying something about success and failure earlier. Why don't you start with success?
Well, actually, I just got a very encouraging response from someone who heard my last talk, the one I gave in Korea in the digital marketing conference.
So you must have shared one of your very successful, award-winning marketing campaigns.
No, Ash, I didn't. On the contrary, I decided to open up and share some of my failures, things that don't work out, what you could consider failure case studies.
Wow, that must have taken a lot of courage.
Yeah, I thought long and hard about it, and the gamble paid off because people really connected with me. They saw me as an everyday marketer like them who's learned through trial and error. And to be honest, it's the failure case studies that give you the best learnings.
The best teacher failure is.
I could not agree more. In fact, I've made many mistakes in my career, but failure is what's taught me my most precious lessons. That's why I don't even discourage my kids from making mistakes. I'd rather they get out of their comfort zones and try new things and make new mistakes all the time. The only thing I tell them is to try not to repeat the same ones.
You know, I don't think I can ever be so cozy with failure as you have. Next week's is exams, and I think Ava is going to fail math again. We've always kept her above the line. But the last exam, she came back with a solid F. It's so heartbreaking to see her fail. And I'm afraid that if she fails again this time, she's just going to give up completely.
Don't worry, Ash. She's more resilient than you realize.
I really hope so.
I know so. As parents, more than anything else, what we want our kids to learn is resilience. And resilience is not something you can teach children in a classroom like math and science. The only way our kids can learn resilience is by overcoming failure.
What do you mean?
Each time your daughter experiences failure but does not give up, she's learning from her mistakes. In fact, the connections in her brain responsible for resilience are strengthening. Researchers are calling this the growth mindset. And with a growth mindset, kids can believe that they can grow to be anything they want. Failure is just a part of the journey of learning.
But how do we help our children get a growth mindset?
Well, to instill growth mindset in our kids, there are three things we need to do. Firstly, we must praise them skillfully. Praise them for making effort, progress, or even learning. And not for results or fixed qualities like intelligence and kindness.
You mean I can't say you're a clever girl anymore?
Instead, you could say, I love how you never gave up, or how you've learned so much from this experience. Ash, if you praise her for being clever, you are reinforcing that she's loved for a specific quality, and that quality is fixed. In her mind, she's either clever or she's not. And she's clever because she did well in a test, or she chose the right answer. And if she wants to remain clever, then she will soon learn that it is better not to step outside her comfort zone, where she will need to do things and that she's new to her and she's not so good at. Secondly, we need to help them understand that while we may fail sometimes, we are never losers as long as we learn something from our mistakes. In fact, did you know, FAIL actually stands for First Attempt in Learning?
And what is that last thing?
We need to model being comfortable with our own failure, and we do this by being open with our kids about our doubts and struggles.
What are you talking about? You mean you want me to tell my children that their father is a failure? That's the mother's job.
Maybe, but it is our job as dads to make them comfortable with stepping outside their comfort zones and to see failure as just a step in their journey to become an amazing person that they are meant to be. You see, if they see us comfortable with our own doubts and fears and enthusiastic about learning from our mistakes and growing stronger as a result, they will more likely believe that they can too.
I don't even know where to start.
Well, The next time you make a mistake or feel uncertain about a decision, try asking your kids for advice. I bet you will be pleasantly surprised at what they will say, but most importantly, you will be modeling a growth mindset for them.
You know what, Answer? Some years ago, I saw on the Time magazine, the cover page, there's a photo of a Buddhist monk and the headline, "The Face of Buddhist Terror." You remember, right? That was the Buddhist monk preaching hate in Myanmar that led to the mobs that ended up with I don't know how many people dead. It really pained me to see the religion that I love, which I believe was all about compassion, about love, being hijacked by hate. And what really pained me then was that when I looked around, the other Buddhist leaders were silent. None of them were stepping up and telling this guy off. For a while, I really questioned my faith. I don't know why, but one day I kind of just shared my frustration with my son. I told him about the monk and how I felt. I didn't think he would understand. He was just 7 years old then. But then what he said shook me out of my negative loop. He said, "Dad, we know that he's not a real monk, right?" In that instant, I realized that just because you wear the robe, but if you preach hate and you live a life that creates pain in others, you're something different. So that conversation with my son really renewed my faith.
That's a beautiful story, Ash. Without realizing it, you showed him that you were comfortable with your fears and doubts. You have role modeled growth mindset in how you did not let your doubts crush you, but instead you came through wiser and stronger. And most importantly, by asking him for his advice, you demonstrated your trust in him, helping you to get out of your struggles. Can you imagine how empowering that must have been for him? Imagine the next time he faces a setback or disappointment, what do you think he would do?
I understand now. Our instinct as parents is to help our children succeed and not fail. But what we're actually doing is that we're starving them from the opportunities to learn and to grow. That comes from failure.
That's right, Ash. But we are not saying to our kids that failure is fun or that they could fail on purpose. Rather, when they put in their best and yet they don't succeed, we want them to know that there is no shame and all is not wasted, as long as they learn and they grow stronger from the experience.
Don't protect your children from failure. Help them build a growth mindset and help them see failure as their first attempt in learning.
And what will you do different today to change your child's view of failure?